Header up.
Rob and Chris, they're on the air. Yankees, Mets, they're everywhere. From the Bronx to Queens, the diamond gleams. MLB talk, the ultimate team. MLB is the place to be. Rob and Chris with the pitch you'll see. Swinging stats and stories fly. Baseball talk that's amplified.
And welcome to a new episode of NYMLE Talk with your host Rob and Chris as we cover the Mets, Yankees, and all of Major League Baseball. And if you're on YouTube right now, hit that sub button. We would truly appreciate it. And also, if you want to follow us on TikTok or on X, it's at NYMLB Talk. Rob is at R Maraska, and I am at CP7NY. And Rob, before we start, I just want to brag a little bit. I've been in this fantasy baseball league for about 10 years with these guys. They're a great group of guys. I love being in it with them, and they're really smart. They're really good. I'll give them a little bit of credit, but I finally won the baseball league. So, and I got my belt to prove it.
There it is.
So I get to.
All right, Chris.
I get to hold it for a year until next year's drafts because we did our draft this weekend. So hopefully the draft worked out good for me too. But
all right, congratulations on the big win and the belt.
yes, and the belt exactly.
Are you gonna show off the belt like every show? Like maybe hang it up or hang it over your shoulders?
No. One day, well, what I'll do is I told him, I said I'll be taking pictures of it all summer. You know, going out. I said I'll go to the beach and I'll bring it with me and stuff like that. But yeah, it was pretty cool. But thank you, Armand. I appreciate it.
That's
fun. Still got ruined by the show. All right, yeah, we're gonna get into the game last night, Rob. Let's get to it.
Yeah, before we do that though, I want to thank. Really, Friday night we had a great show, a fun show. I just wanted to thank Chief Gene Locklear and Dr. Jay Thomas for coming on. The hour flew by, Chris. Chief had some great stories, right?
Yeah, and you know, and just his whole life. I mean, not just the baseball part, right?
Yeah,
it was everything from his youth, baseball, and then after baseball, the painting, the Pete Rose stories, Yogi Berra stories. I mean, the guy. And I think we mentioned it on the show that he's got to come back because he's got some more great stories. We got to get into more. Definitely pick up his book, Chief, The 3 Lives of Gene Locklear. Definitely check it out. I had it up last week. It's on Amazon. It's definitely worth the price. Rob could talk more about the book, but definitely worth the price. But yeah, I loved it. Thank you guys for coming on.
Yeah, it was great. It was great. And if you guys haven't checked it out, go to YouTube, check out, our past shows. There's great stories about everything, but there's a story about Yogi Berra and Chief that is hilarious. So you got to check that out. But anyway, let's get to last night's USA win over the DR in the WBC. Chris, what do you think about that?
You know what? For 2 high-performance offenses, we thought we were going to see a much higher scoring game, even with Skeen starting against Sevy. But listen, we got to give credit to the pitching, right? 2-1 final score, and when you look at these lineups, top to bottom, this is this is the 2 best lineups in the World Baseball Classic. And to limit them to 3 solo home runs. That's it. That was it for the whole game. I mean, the DR was, I think, 0 for 9 with hitters hitting with runners in scoring position. So, but yeah, I mean, just clutch pitching on the pitching side. Defense, Aaron Judge out in right field, dove and made a great catch. Threw out Tatis at right. From right to third base on the fly, 96 miles an hour throw, whatever it was. Awesome. Yeah, I don't know if it was a bonehead decision. That was just a great throw by Judge. I don't blame Tatis for
trying to take the base.
If that ball's a little off, he's probably safe. So that was just a perfect throw by Judge. Yeah, Armand saying DR would run in scoring position look like last year's Mets team. Yeah, and the Yankees in the playoffs. So listen,
That's right.
both know what that looks like, unfortunately. But yeah, I mean, you know what? Like I said, you got to give these guys credit for the pitching wise. And you know what? The DR had their shot, right? They chances. I think 4 innings they had, second and third, 1 out, bases loaded, 2 outs, all this. They had shots and they just couldn't come through. And you got to give credit to, both sides pitching, not just the Team USA, but DR pitching was great too.
And I have to say, Sevy looked great last night, didn't he?
That was early Yankees. That was like that first year he was with the Yankees where he won.
Yes,
that's the Sevy we remember. It was kind of good to see him that way, but then I'm like, we haven't seen this in like 8 years, so no, it's not that good. But yeah, no, hey, good for him. You know what? He's got a couple of years left, right, with the A's, and you know what? Maybe he could, perform well down the stretch here in his career and maybe get another contract. But yeah, it was interesting to see him pitch that good. Armand says if Tatis stays at second, Soto was up with 2 on and 2 outs, and Skeen was at 38 pitches at the time. And if he throws more pitches that inning, he might have gotten pulled after 4 innings. Well, he didn't last much longer than that, right?
Right.
Maybe he gets pulled a little bit earlier, but he didn't last much. How many innings did he pitch? 4 and he didn't go 5.
I have it right here. He pitched 4.1.
Yeah, so
he gave up 6. Yeah, so he gave up 6 hits, 1 earned run, and he had 2 strikeouts. And Sevy pitched 3, 5 hits, 1 earned run, and 6 strikeouts for Sevy. Not bad. But then, the DR, once this happened, I felt a little better. The DR brought in Gregory Soto next, and sorry about that. That's a phone that's going off. But
and he did okay. I mean, he only gave up the 1 home run, the 1 solo shot, Soto, right? To Roman Anthony, and that was it. I mean, the rest, you're talking about Mejia came in 1 inning, 1 hit. Brazaban, inning and a third, no hits, 3 Ks. Uribe, 1 inning, 1 strikeout. Dominguez, 1 inning, 1 K. Duval, 1 inning, 2 Ks. I mean, they were great too.
Both bullpens, Chris, were excellent. You have to give them credit. That's true too. The DR, they did listen. The DR broke and set a record for home runs in the WBC with 15 home runs. I mean, that's unbelievable. But they didn't, last night's game, we were ready for a slugfest, and all we got were 3 solo home runs. Luckily, the United States had 2 of them, but that's it.
Yeah, you know what? And the DR, listen, like you said, they broke the record, most home runs in a WBC tournament. But you know what? They came in a little bit probably too aggressive against the Team USA pitching. Maybe if they took a few pitches, maybe if they worked the counts a little bit, maybe it would be a different story. But you know what? That's what got them there. So they're not going to change who they are. I mean, that's what these guys are. They're aggressive hitters. Maybe not Soto. Soto. Soto will take the walk if you don't give him a good pitch, he's not going to swing, right? He's not going to get himself out. So, but then and getting back to that final, the final pitch, it wasn't a little low, sure. And if the roles were reversed, USA fans would be pissed off that was called a strike. But at that point, you're 3-2 with 2 outs. You got to be guarding that plate, right? You got to be fighting off anything close. Anything close, you got to swing. But on the other hand, Miller is throwing, missiles at you at 101, 102 miles an hour. So you got to sit fastball. So unfortunately, if he throws anything but that, you're going to be locked up, right? You're going to look at it and go, I hope this is a ball because I'm not touching this pitch, right? Because you're gearing up for a 101 mile an hour fastball. So, but yeah, it was just, tough call against him. But maybe, and I'm sure in 3 years, we're going to see the ABS system involved in the WBC, right? I'm pretty sure we'll see it. But yeah, it was a tough way to end, but it is what it is. That's baseball.
But listen, that's not why they lost. I mean, you can't blame it on one lousy call. And hi, Liz, good to see you out there again. You cannot blame it on one lousy call, right? I mean, they had all night to score. They just didn't score. It was, we were waiting for somebody to break out, and start scoring. But both bullpens, like we said, were pretty good last night, and you can't complain about any of those relievers. They all did a good job. I mean, even Soto gave up the losing home run, but other than that, both bullpens look great to me.
Yeah, I mean, the only decision, not really a decision, but a move that maybe they could have made a little bit differently. I think when Wells led off, I forgot what inning it was, fourth or fifth inning, maybe sixth inning, he led off with a double in the inning. Maybe at that point you pinch run for him because you had O'Neal Cruz still on the bench at that point. Maybe you pinch run for him there and you could grind out a run. But Wells is not a bad runner for a catcher. I'm not saying he's the slowest guy out there, but you know what? Maybe you pinch run for him, but I'm not killing him for that. So, but other than that, I mean, you can't, the game was played on the field, right? There was no really bad managerial choices or something like that. Yeah, I mean, again, the showed up in seventh and eighth inning and ninth innings. I agree, Armand. Yeah, the umpire wasn't good, but unfortunately, in Major League Baseball, we're used to that a little bit too much now, where it's the bad umps. And trust me, we'd be screaming right now if it was.
Yeah, we would be.
If it was Team USA that lost, right? So I totally get the team off and being pissed off about it, but it was a close call. It was 3-2. There were other bad calls too during the game. It wasn't just that one. So so here we are. Now USA is waiting for either Venezuela or the surprising Italian team. So
yeah. Yeah, I mean, who would think that Japan and DR, they're done. They're out. That was some game, Japan and Venezuela was some game also, Chris.
Yeah. Oh, without a doubt. And I was saying, listen, getting back to Japan and the DR, I said I would be shocked if one of, the USA, Japan, or DR, like those three teams, obviously you're not going to get all three in the finals, but two out of those three teams should have been in the finals. And we're not going to get, now it's going to be either Venezuela or Italy as the other team playing Team USA, because Team USA has come out of nowhere.
Yeah.
I do have to give credit to, I think it was JP Morosi on MLB Network. He's the one guy that mentioned Team Italy before the tournament started. He was like, you got to watch out for Team Italy. They're going to surprise people. I don't know if he was saying they're going to make it to the finals, but he did say to look out for them. So I got to give him credit on that. But yeah, Team Japan losing was a huge shocker. But when you look at, and I think I mentioned it to you too when we were texting back and forth, Team Venezuela's got a great lineup. Their pitching may not be able to be, I wouldn't say they're as good as USA's or the DR's, but man, that lineup is good. I mean, Jackson Churio is batting ninth in that lineup. That is crazy. I know.
No, that's some lineup. We were texting back and forth, excuse me. But, do you think how many people were so happy that Japan and Ohtani, Ohtani finally lost at something?
Yes, I think everybody outside of Japan, I think, was a little happy about, they were smiling underneath that Japan has not moved on, right, to the semifinals when they lost. I think a lot of people out there were happy because, listen, Ohtani, I think we talked about it last time, right? Like we're getting fatigued on Ohtani. Like he's so, and we're not putting him down either. He's just so amazing that we're kind of like, all right, we get it. This guy is like, like when he hits a home run, leads off the game with a home run, or when he hits last year in the playoffs, the 2 home runs or 3 home runs while he was pitching. Like, oh yeah, all right. Like that's normal now. Like it's not even right when he does it. It's like, oh yeah, all right, whatever, But we're getting tired of it. We're getting tired of it. We don't want the Dodgers to win another championship 3 in a row. We don't want to see that.
Nah, we want Ohtani's losing streak now to get to 2,
Yeah.
losing the World Series, but or not even making it. That would be great. But yeah, the Japan, the look on the players' faces in the dugout and the manager after that game, if you notice, they were in shock themselves.
Oh yeah, they were not expecting to lose. You know, because they knew they were one of the favorites to make it to the finals or even win the championship, and for them to be not even in the semifinals, they're sitting there shocked right now. So yeah, but now
Yeah.
it definitely puts Team USA in a position now where we could talk about it. What's going on, Dan?
Hey, Dan.
I feel a tiny win. Yeah, let's hope not. For both our teams, let's hope not.
Yeah, really.
But now we got to see, like, is this a total redemption for Derosa, for Team USA making it to the finals, or do you think they have to win the finals to be fully redempted here from his huge mistake in that team Italy USA game?
He's almost there. I mean, yeah, let's see who they're going to play. Let's put it this way. If Italy wins tonight, the United States cannot lose again to Italy, because if they lose again to Italy, then, that's it, right? That's Derosa's legacy. So
losing not once, but twice.
Yeah, no, so they cannot. So it's gonna be interesting. Tonight's game is gonna be fun to watch. We have to see what happens. It's gonna be a good game, I think. Chris, what do you think?
Yeah, I think you got two teams coming in hot. I mean, and listen, Italy's coming in red hot, obviously. And that's the team you don't want to play, right? No matter how much better you think you are than them, that's a tough team to play. When a team is red hot, you know, they got all the momentum going into that game. I think what'll be interesting is how the game starts, right? Because Italy gets on you quick, right? They usually score quick, I think. Especially the last two games. The game against us, obviously, 8-0 to start the game off. I think it was the fourth inning, right? So let's see how those first couple of innings go. If it's a quiet first couple of innings, maybe that's that team starting to cool down, and maybe Venezuela could get on the board first and, you know, get some momentum going their way. So it'll be interesting.
You know, maybe they have to check out what's going on in the in Italy's dugout, right? With the espresso. I mean, is there any?
To be honest, I all want to be this hot right now.
Yeah, real. Like, what's in that espresso? Any enhancing things in that espresso machine? I don't know, because how many espressos did they have? They kept showing every time they get a home run, they drink. They put on that jacket, then they drink espresso, right?
Yep.
It's crazy, but it is funny.
It's working. Whatever it is, it's working for them. You know, and that's all that matters, right?
Yeah, it's fun. You know, it's fun. The WBC is fun, and let's talk about the two things. First of all, Lone Depot Park, right in Miami. Don't ever tell me that place can't get filled. All right, because that place was capacity last night, right?
Yeah.
And even in the game with Japan, that place was sold out.
And you know what? It gets loud when it's sold out, because that thing was loud last night for Team USA versus the DR, right? You got crazy fans on both sides because it was getting loud for both teams. I think there was a little bit more, though, DR fans than USA fans last night. But it was getting loud. So think about it. If the Marlins ever get to that point where you're selling out and you're going to be in the playoffs, that might be a tough place to play for visiting teams, right? So, but yeah, it was good to see. It's good to see, because that's a not brand new, but it's a pretty new stadium, and it's a nice looking stadium, man. There should be a good crowd, and that team is on the up, right? I don't know if they're going to be a playoff team this year, but you know what? They're a good team. Yeah, they're a good young team. At least they're fun to watch, right? You could sit down and pay
real fun
tickets and watch the game, you know, especially for them when they play you guys. It's a fun game.
Yeah, it's fun, real fun. They're pests, but yeah. So that place could get packed, you know. So the management, like Miami, like they should say, you know what? Look at this. if we just get the players and keep them, look what we could have. And it could be great there. And also, let's talk about Fox's TV ratings for a second. That they're out of they're unbelievable how many people are watching. It's like averaging over 3 million people, I think they said.
Yeah, and that's despite John Smoltz calling the game.
Yeah.
So
that's another thing. Is it just me? Does Smoltz ever take a breath and stop talking for a second?
Exactly. So here's Armand saying, forget PEDs. It's now P, aka performance enhancing espresso. There you go. Good one.
Good.
I like
That's
that.
a good one.
He also
Yes.
said, enjoy facing the Marlins. Yeah, not really. Right. Here's Bruce.
It is.
Bruce Sarte says Italy is going to continue its Cinderella run and steal one from Venezuela tonight. Okay, there you go.
All right, Bruce. Yeah, you know what? That's definitely possible, Bruce. And Joe Dell's checking in. How you doing, Joe? Yeah, so that's right. So it's going to be good, and then we have the final tomorrow night, and who do you want the USA to play, Chris?
Just from competition wise, Tyler came in and they showed. Yeah, I did see that.
Yeah, yes.
Rogers.
You're right. I did say that.
Joe Dell, don't mess with the Italians. I agree, man. I don't want to mess with them, but if I'm Team USA, I want the Italians, right? I want that team because they're the only team that beat the Team USA in this whole tournament, right? So if you don't face them, if you have to beat Venezuela, and if you beat Venezuela, what is the word that's going to be out there? Oh, well, they never beat Team Italy, right? You're lucky it wasn't Team Italy in the finals because Team Italy would have beat you guys because they beat you.
Exactly.
So for me, if I had to pick, I'd want Team Italy, and I'd want to beat them in the finals without a doubt. And I don't know if that's the way they feel, but if I'm on that team, I'm not picking. But if I had to, give us Team Italy again. I want to beat this team.
And the Mets, the USA will have Mets pitcher Nolan McLean pitching again against Italy. So he has to redeem himself, right, Chris?
Yeah.
And he said he's up for this. He said this is what he's made for. So he has to go out there and he has to redeem himself from his last start against Italy. If Italy wins, even if Venezuela wins, obviously. But how do you feel about McLean starting tomorrow night, Chris?
I feel like he's going to pitch better. I really do. I think he's going to go in there knowing, like you said, he's got to prove himself now. He's got to prove it to everybody why he's getting the ball in the championship game, right? So, and I think he has to go out there and throw a couple of good innings. Like, I'm sure he's not going to go past 5, right? He'll probably go 3, maybe 4, like Skeens did last night, right? The one thing I did see DeRosa say earlier today is that he has to check in on Miller and Bednar with the teams to make sure that they're okay for pitching tomorrow night because they both threw a lot of pitches in those games. In last night's game. So, and Bednar, I think you said, man, I hope he's not being overused, right? This was his 4th outing already. So it's going to be interesting how he manages, the back end of the bullpen, because if you don't have these guys for at least an inning or at least a batter or two to close out an inning or something, that's going to be tough. Those are 2 huge weapons at the end of the game that you may not be able to use, right? So it'll be interesting. I know Jax should be available. He only threw, I think, 7 pitches last night, so he's really good. He could, if you could get the ball to him, if he's going to be the closer, I feel pretty confident with him pitching the 9th. But I don't know how you're going to connect McLean to whoever the closer is in the 9th, right? Like you gotta piece all that together, and it's going to be interesting how DeRosa works it.
And we were talking about last night, Bednar, like the Yankees, they probably got to be concerned. He's really been overused in the WBC. So what does this say?
Ryan another good friend of ours. As a fellow Italian, hate to say it, but the revenge tour must end with the USA beating Italy in the finals. USA has been on a hot streak, dominating sports here lately. Time to add yet another big win. I totally agree. I'm with you. I'm hoping that you win it, and we'll see what happens.
And hey, listen, and one of his guys last night, Henderson, hit one of the 2 home runs. So that was a good thing for Oriole fans last night too.
He's the guy that tied it up for us, right? I mean,
yep.
And it was a surprise start over Bregman. Because Connor Henderson had great numbers against Severino, and as we see, it paid off. Not his first at bat, but it definitely paid off eventually, hitting the home run against him.
So let's talk about Soto and the best team didn't win.
Yeah.
Okay.
Really interesting comments by Juan Soto here. He said, "We showed the world who's the best team in baseball." Okay.
Okay.
You lost. I don't care how you lost, but you lost. It was a tight game. Listen, if it's a 7-game series, who knows who would have won, right? It is.
Right.
But I wouldn't say this. Did the best team win last night? I don't know. But USA won. Is Dominican Republic the best team? I have no idea. They only played 1 game against each other, right? So you can't really go by, oh, we're the better team. Well, no, you're not. You lost, first of all. Second of all, it's only 1 game. So I don't know. Well, what do you think, Rob?
Yeah, well, listen, Juan, you're headed back to Port St. Lucie, and listen, the better team. It's a short. This whole tournament's short, right? It's 2 weeks, 2 weeks and a couple of days. Like you said, maybe in 7 innings. 7 games. A 7-game series, it would be different, but you can't. Have some class and say, congratulations to the USA. Tonight they were the better team and they won, and that's it. You don't have to say we showed the world who's the best team in baseball, because you didn't, because you're not in the final. You're not going to be in the final, so you're not going to be in the championship. That's all, and go home. This is why people, and he's a Met, and I'm glad he's on the Mets, but this is why people get pissed off at stuff like this. They, like Yankee fans, of course, they're saying, well, now we're glad he's on the Mets, blah blah blah, because he said this. What, right, Chris?
Yeah, of course that's going to be it. But he's a great player. It's a great team. Trust me, I'm not saying
it is.
Team USA's the much better team or anything like that. But last night they were the better team. They play tomorrow night. Maybe DR wins, right? Or maybe Team USA wins again. You don't know. It's that close. They're both really good teams.
Yeah, and listen, it was a great game. Yeah, the DR they played great. They were, like I said, 15 home runs. They set a record. But guess what? You lost last night. You're going home, and that's it. It's don't. To me, when they make comments like that, it's like, don't say that and put down the team that you're playing against in that one. Just have some class and say, congratulations to the USA. That's all.
Yeah, I agree. It is what it is. I'm not that I'm not surprised what he said, but you know what? It's Juan Soto. I get it. You're a competitive guy. You think you got the better team? That's great. That's awesome. But you guys lost. When it counted, you guys lost. And guess what? You were one of the main reasons, because you went 0 for 4 in that game, right?
That's right.
Maybe if you hit a big home run, or maybe if you got a big hit, maybe it would have been a little different. But it didn't happen. Next game you play them, you might beat them. I don't know. It's possible, but it's only 1 game, and you guys lost. So you're not playing in the finals, so you can't be the best team.
Yeah, and that's it. And hopefully we don't have to hear too much more about that. No. It's over. But of course, Soto's got to say that, right? Of all the players, of course.
Of course, it is. It's just perfect. It's cinema. It's baseball cinema at its best, right there. But you know what? The great thing is, it's been a great tournament. There's been great stories, great drama in it. It's not going to be remembered because of a comment or two about what happens. We're not going to remember a bad call because there were many bad calls. It's going to come down to the finals. We'll find out who Team USA plays Tuesday night. We'll find out tonight whether it's going to be Venezuela or Team Italy. So it'll be pretty interesting.
Yeah, that's it. It's going to be interesting.
Ryan says, I mean, hey, I would love to sign a huge contract to do absolutely nothing in clutch situations and run my mouth online. America, truly the land of opportunity. Yeah, exactly. I agree, Ryan. He shouldn't have ran his mouth, but he doesn't care. You know, he got paid.
He don't care. No. He doesn't care. All right. So what else is going on in baseball? Oh, we got to just talk about one other thing. Do you think the Chicago Cubs are worried right now about that injury?
Oh, to Suzuki?
Yeah, Suzuki.
Maybe, yeah. I don't. What they say it was? Did they say it was a long-term thing, or was it? Because I didn't.
Right now, they were waiting for him to get back to spring training, and they said that it was knee discomfort from that stolen base attempt, right? But that's what makes you nervous when they say knee discomfort. That could mean anything, Chris. You know?
Oh yeah. Oh, absolutely. And I'm sure they're bringing him back and going to run some tests on him. You know, to find out exactly what's wrong with him, because who knows? Right?
Yeah,
I mean, this is going to bring up the argument, right? Why these guys shouldn't be playing, why the WC shouldn't be played, you know, and all this kind of stuff. So it's going to, but you know what? These guys could get hurt at any time. Even Kyle Teal, I'll say one of the radio hosts on The Fan, I think, posted something today about Kyle Teal, the other guy that got hurt, right? I think he was on Team Italy, right? The catcher. He got hurt. He was running. I think he was running to first, pulled a hamstring, or running to second, whatever it was. He was running. That was the point. He was running, pulled his hamstring, whatever. He's out 4 to 6 weeks or whatever it is, you know. And she was saying, you know, and making a big deal about it. I'm like, but you could get hurt that way in a preseason, you know, in a spring training game. Yeah. You're just running. It's not like a play happens where you're at the plate. You know, you're covering home plate, and a guy runs into you and jams his shoulder or breaks your leg or something, you know, something to that effect. Like, it was just a running play. It was a muscle thing. You know, that could happen at any time. So, or if he was playing the outfield, you know, it's not like he ran into the wall trying to catch a ball or something, you know?
No.
It's just a normal action you do during a game, whether it's here or in spring training. So you can't really say much about that. It happens.
No. Yeah, I mean, that could happen when you're doing sprints in the outfield, right? That's when these things happen. You're right. Hey, anything could happen. You could even get injured for almost, you could get injured for a whole season just celebrating on the mound.
Right. Exactly.
You know. So it's like spring training. There's injuries in spring training too. So they should just look at it as spring training. All right, the play is more intense. We have to admit with the WBC, because, you know, a lot of these countries, and this is another thing. You want to bring up Judge before we get away from the WBC and, you know, more important than the World Series and all that stuff?
Yeah. All right. Let me bring it up. This is basically, he said, if anybody out there didn't see it, he basically says that the WBC is bigger than the World Series. So I'm going to give you I'll let him talk, and then we'll talk about it.
It's World Series I was in, the crowd here, the crowd we had when we played against Mexico, it's bigger and better than the World Series. It's just, like I said, the passion that these fans have representing their country, representing some of their favorite players, there's nothing like it. And that's what you dream of as a kid. When I was betting in my backyard, playing wiffle ball, this is the moments you dream of, big spots, big situations. It gives me chills right now thinking about how special that was. I try to take a moment every game to kind of look around, appreciate the crowd, appreciate the moment. It's just a blessing to just go out there and do our thing.
So, I don't know if you heard. Basically, the WBC is bigger and better than the World Series, and this is something he dreamed of when he was a kid. I don't know if he dreamed of that as a kid,
He did.
right? That I'm not sure about, but
He did.
what do you think, Rob? Like, is the WC bigger than the World Series?
Okay, let's put this in perspective right now, okay? First of all, Aaron Judge did not dream about winning the title, WBC title, when he was a kid. He dreamt about winning the World Series like all of us did, okay? What he was talking about the crowd, how they were into it. Listen, there's no doubt players from a lot of these other countries, they've said it. It's more important than the World Series, winning the World Series, okay? To us who live in the United States and who grew up with baseball and, it's not, because the World Series is the World Series. That's to me the biggest thing. This is a tournament and it's great now. I enjoy it. You enjoy it. But and you're representing your country, but this is a 2.5 week tournament. It's not the World Series. So, I mean, come on, really. When he said that, he dreamt about this as a kid. Chris, he didn't. He dreamt about the World Series.
Yeah. Listen, and I get it. He's trying to boost it up, trying to get, build the game, popularity, all that. I get it. But yeah, that's a little bit of a stretch. And in popularity, you could say it is bigger, right? Because it's all around the world. You get all the countries, each other, and all that. So yeah, I get it in that sense. But
me too.
For a Major League Baseball player, the World Series is big, and it's bigger for them, I would think, than winning the WBC, right? The WBC has only been around now, 20 years maybe, right, at this point. So I don't know. It's something that maybe he shouldn't have said, but I understand why he said it.
Me too.
Yeah, I mean, obviously he's not dreaming of playing in the WBC as a kid, because I don't think it was around when he was a kid. So to say
exactly.
that, but I get like the big moments. He should have said, that he was right about. Yeah, as a kid, yeah, you're in the backyard pretending you're in, in a big spot, whether it's the World Series or a playoff game, whatever. So yeah, I get that. But to say the WBC is bigger, then I don't know. It's bigger in that it's global, yeah, because the World Series.
Yes.
I don't think people in Great Britain or even Japan care about our World Series, right? I don't know if it's that big there, unless of course Ohtani's in it, then it's big there. But
no, then they care. Definitely.
Right, they care. So, but yeah, it's a little strange for him to say that.
Yeah, it is. I mean, he is, the captain of Team America, right? And they're trying to boost this thing up. And he's right. With these other countries, like I said, to them, it's very important. And these players, a lot of them said it's more important than the World Series. But to in the United States and the players for Team USA, the World Series got to be more important than this. It really has.
Especially for a star in baseball. Like I could see one of these players that aren't in the major leagues right now, like some of these veterans right. I could see one of those guys saying that, because this is it. Like, this is it for them. Like, a lot of these guys are not playing in the majors anymore. So for them to say it, like, you seen, what's his name? Eddie Rosario, right? Was playing for Puerto Rico. He hasn't been in the majors for a couple of years. So
true.
Right. So for him, if he said that, yeah, it's bigger for him because he's not in the majors anymore, right? His time has passed. And you know what? To see him playing out there was pretty cool to see a guy.
Yeah,
and
definitely.
He's pretty good. Didi Gregorius, right? He hasn't been in the majors in how many years, right? And he had a home run against the DR. I think that was the last time they were behind before.
Yeah, that was. It was.
Right. So.
Right. They were talking about that last night. I agree with you there. Yes, definitely.
And Armand said the energy fans bring to the WBC is bigger than the World Series energy fans. Yeah, I could say that for sure. Yeah. But you can't say the energy for the World Series games too. I mean, if you watch those games, I don't say that to a Toronto fan, right?
Exactly.
Because those games were pretty intense and they were loud as you've heard of any stadium, right? Last year in those game 6 and 7.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, maybe they were, but I don't know. And I'm not going to say that about New York either. I think that's where people get to it, right? You're talking about Aaron Judge. You're saying that the WC is bigger than when you played in the World Series at Yankee Stadium. I don't know, against the Dodgers. I don't know.
And especially since he hasn't won a World Series, as Yankee captain, he hasn't won a World Series. So come on, he's just saying that. But anyway, all right. So we'll see what happens tonight and tomorrow, and we'll talk about it next week. Let's get into spring training because the time is flying by. What do you got for me from Yankee spring training, Chris?
You know what? Everybody's healthy. That to me is the good thing. You got nobody injured. Yeah, you got Rodon coming back, like we said, and Cole, but they're on time and everything else. And you know what? Rodon maybe beginning of May, Cole end of May, and he's actually ahead, but they're not gonna force it, and they're gonna take their time on these guys because they do have pitching depth. But so far everything looks good. Yeah, Grisham's not having a good spring training. So that's getting a lot of news, right? Because he got the qualifying offer. He's not having as good spring training. Ryan McMahon's not having a good spring training, and everybody was talking about a new batting stance and everything was going to be better, and he's not hitting well either. Luis Hill's not pitching well for the Yankees. He had a really bad outing yesterday, but overall, you know what? It is what it is. It's spring training.
Yep.
Let's get out of spring training healthy. That's the important thing. And let's get to opening night against San Fran in San Fran. Can't wait. Next Friday, not this Friday, but the following Friday, opening night for baseball. How about you guys?
I can't believe how close it is. With the Mets, Lindor came back earlier than we thought. He got his first hit against Toronto this weekend. So it looks like things are on track for Lindor, which is good. And Senga pitched pretty well the other day. He was hitting 99 miles per hour. He retired every batter that he faced. So hopefully Senga is there. You have to be careful with him, though. He's so fragile.
Right.
As we see, what happened. But it looks like the ghost pitch is back. And hopefully that he's, I'm hoping that he could be a big part of this team. A healthy Senga on this team definitely would be great. I think Team Japan wanted him to play also for Japan, but he said he wanted to focus on coming back, which is, so he picked that over the WBC. So what does that tell you? What's more important? Okay. Right. The team that's paying you all this money or the WBC. So far, so good for those two guys. And it's like you said, it's spring training. Spring training is spring training. We really, we've almost had enough of spring training. We want the regular season to start. And a lot of people, Chris, are pissed that it's starting on Netflix. What are your opinions about that?
I don't love it. I wish the Yankees were obviously on Yes, so we could have our announcers doing the game and all that. But you know what? We know streaming is what it is, right? We can't fight it. Streaming is the now. It's not. It used to be the future, maybe a year or two ago, but it's happening now. Unfortunately, we're only going to see it improve. So it's going to be bigger on streaming eventually. But this is it. This is the future. This is the present of baseball, and we have to just get used to it. It stinks. I wish there was only one streaming. We only have to get one channel, but unfortunately, between baseball and if you want to watch football, that's more streaming channels, right? So it stinks, but yeah, I can't wait, and I'm curious to see how Netflix does baseball because they did a good job with football. I'm curious how they handle baseball now.
Well, opening night is supposed to. They're really going all out. I heard that it's going to be really big on Netflix. I mean, most people have Netflix now, right? So it's no big deal, even though you rather have like you said, you rather have the Yankees on Yes for opening day because you're used to that. Yes, Armand, he might have got okay, good one.
Chose to play for Japan, he might have gotten denied insurance due to his age. possibly, and all the injury history that he had. And he also
Yeah.
mentioned Bell will probably be the starting right fielder on opening day. What are your thoughts on that?
Oh, yeah, let's give him a chance. I like to see the kid play, definitely. And I think Armin is right. I'm just looking forward for the season to start. But let's get back to Netflix for a second. You're right. So we got to have Netflix. We got to have Apple TV because there's still going to be games on Apple. Amazon Prime,
Right.
right? Amazon Prime.
Wednesday games for the Yankees. So
Yep. And NBC, but it's going to also be on Peacock. But it's going to be on NBC and Peacock, right?
I think
At the
so.
same time.
I'm sure there's going to be Peacock only games. I'm sure.
Ugh.
Right.
I mean,
But
I know. It's like I got all these streaming services now. It's insane, but that's just the way it is. That's the future, and there's nothing you can really do. But I just wish, I wish MLB would stop with the stupid blackout stuff already. If I want to be able to watch. If I want to watch the Met game or the Yankee game in New York on the MLB network and we have it, why can't you? The blackout stuff is stupid already.
Yeah, I hate that. That's the one thing they got to figure out in this new collective bargaining agreement right next year is get rid of the blackouts. At least if you're going to do the streaming, at least let a fan be able to at least make it as easy as possible for you to watch a game. I don't want to go to a streaming site, whether it's MLB Network, MLB.TV, or Peacock, or this or that. If my team is on it, I want to watch it. Don't make it harder for a fan to watch the game. You're already making it hard, right? With all the streaming options, right? Especially for the older fans that are not really, into this whole streaming thing. And I get it, but the younger audience doesn't really care because that's all they probably do is stream. So, but make it as easy as possible to fans to watch their game, at least watch their teams. All right, I get it, the other teams, but at least to make it watch their teams, make it as easy as possible.
I agree with you. I mean, and then you gotta remember are they on Apple tonight? Oh wait, it's Friday night. Are they? Right. NBC is Saturday night. Fox is Saturday night, I think. NBC is what, Sunday night?
Remember the old days, your team was on your local channel, Monday night baseball, right? You got on Channel 7, and then Sunday night later on, in the years, ESPN had the Sunday night game, right?
Right.
Other than that, that's it, and the Saturday game of the week, right, on NBC, stuff like that, but it was pretty easy because it was all on regular TV. You weren't searching your remote for the for the streaming site you have to go to. And, I got to remember the password for this again. So
and then and then another thing is with the streaming stuff and everything, right? So we're watching a game and we're texting, and you have yours is happening like 5 seconds before mine. So you'll text something to me and it didn't happen yet. I didn't see it yet.
I don't know. Sometimes, sometimes you're ahead, sometimes, it's just awful. But
sometimes listen, it was much easier when the Mets were on WOR and the Yankees were on WPIX, and that was it. And then Sports Channel came along, and then that started the whole mess. But and you know what else turned the world upside down? When the Yankees weren't on WPIX and the Mets are on WPIX,
Right. Exactly. Right. And I don't even think the Yankees are on. They don't have a regular channel anymore. So
I think the Mets have 20 games on PIX. They have 20 games. So Yankees, I don't see any. So it's crazy.
You got it easy, guys. Other than that, no. Good luck fighting.
Yeah, but listen, it's almost here. The weather was really nice. It felt like spring in New York, and now it's going to get colder again from what I heard. But enough with spring training already. I want the regular season to start, and if it's got to start on Netflix, it's got to start on Netflix. Chris, what are you going to do?
I'll take it. I don't care. We want real baseball, right? Especially, listen, and after tonight and tomorrow night, we're going to have a long, 7-8 days before opening day, because at least this WBC is keeping us like, all right, this is real. This is real as it gets for baseball, right? It's fun. Get to see all of the stars playing and all that, but it's going to end tomorrow night, and hopefully in a good way for the Team USA.
Yeah, you're right. It's right now. It feels like baseball that counts right now, and then we're gonna have the letdown after tomorrow night, and we got to go, like you said, like 10 days without it. But then it'll be here before we know, and I can't wait. Now I want to talk, since we got about 10 minutes left. I want to talk about our show next Monday. Okay. We're going to do a different kind of show. We wish we could have call-ins and stuff like that. So what we're going to actually do is and anybody could participate. And we've gotten some people said they already they want to. What we're going to do is we're going to send out to the link to anyone who contacts us for next Monday's show at 3 p.m., where you could come on, make a comment, ask a question. We'll answer it. We'll talk about it for a minute or two, and then we'll go to the next person. So we're gonna try that. That's gonna be like a call-in show, except you're gonna be live on video like we are. What do you think, Chris? Sounds good, right?
Yeah, I think that's gonna be a great idea. I think, Rob, you came up with that one, so I love it. I think it's gonna be great to have hopefully different fans come on and, to come up with, whether it's a question, it's anything you guys want to talk about pertaining to baseball. We're keeping it to baseball. All right.
Yeah.
So if you want to give us your predictions on how the season's going to go, if you want to just ask a question for us to talk about it, a Hall of Fame question, those are all great debate questions too. But anything you guys want to talk about baseball, bring it on. And we'll definitely get into it with whatever you want to talk. And I think it's great. Any fan of any team is definitely welcome to join us. So it doesn't have to be just Yankees and Mets. It could be any team. Yes, even Boston or the Braves or the Phillies. Right. Even the Dodgers, right? We don't want to see the Dodgers win 3 straight, but if you're a Dodger fan, you want to come on and tell us how you guys are going to win 3 straight, come on and let us know. We'd love to have you. We'd love to have you on and chat.
Yeah, so that's going to be next Monday's show at this time, the 3 to 4 show. Get in touch with us on X. You have all our info. It's on the bottom of the screen. Also, going by. Get in touch with me on Facebook. Get in touch with Chris on Facebook. Wherever, whatever. Say we want to come on. We'll send you the link, and then it'll take you into our backstage waiting room, and then we'll bring you on. It should be a lot of fun. And any team, we don't care. We're just looking forward to it. Like I said, we got a couple of people already who inquired about it, so we're gonna have people, and we'd like everybody to be a part of it. So definitely, that's next Monday. We got a couple more minutes. I wanted to bring up something real quick with you, Chris, and get your opinion. Thanks, Joe. The Mets have announced that they're going to retire Carlos Beltran's number. He's going in the Hall of Fame as a Met, and I'm all for it. But on social media, I'm reading all these Met fans crying about the one strikeout in the 2006 National League Championship Series against the Cardinals, which I was there. So I was sitting there. I had to drive home after that. Before you say anything, Chris, you can't define a person's career by one at bat, especially when he's a Hall of Famer. He was a great Met, so I don't care what anybody says. He deserves to get his number retired. What do you think, Chris?
I totally agree. He deserves to get that number retired. The guy's a Hall of Famer. He's going in as a Met. The only argument he could be against his number being retired is if he was going in as a Royal, right? I think that would have been the only other team. So if he decided to go in as a Royal, I would have understood Met fans saying, no, we shouldn't retire his number because he's not going in as a Met. Like he's picking your team, to go in to represent him in the Hall of Fame. So I think you got to. And the guy's a Hall of Famer.
Yeah, you have to.
And I get the cheating thing with Houston. If you want to bring that up, listen, listen, the commissioner dropped the ball. We know that. He dropped the ball on that whole situation. He should have vacated the championship. Nobody wins it that year. Move on. But he didn't want to embarrass the league. I get it. Whatever. But it's over and done with. And you know what? Beltran paid more than anybody in the league for what happened, right? The one manager, AJ Hinch, right? He got suspended for a year, but then he's got a job now. He's back with Detroit. Beltran didn't get it. He was supposed to manage the Mets, but then once that came down, they didn't want to hire him after that, right? So he hasn't done anything really since then. So you got to give the guy.
Yeah, he's working with the Mets now, of course.
Yeah, but he is right? That would have been a job.
But he may be manager in waiting, Chris. Right. So let's see what happens. Yeah. All right. Good. I agree with you. He does. Armand agrees.
Before we go on here, Rob, you gotta and look at that comment. As a Met fan, what do you think of that comment? Armand's supposed to be a Met fan. Read it and this way. Come on, Armand. That is
Armand. I got to disagree with you on that one. I mean,
come on.
But Armand.
Championship
just
to see
Armand.
No. Come on.
Come on next week's show and and you could talk about this for a couple of minutes. Yeah. But no. All right. Anyway, Chris, could you bring up there's two things I want to bring up. Could you bring up the Ronnie Hill band?
Yeah, actually wait, hold on. This is for Armand real quick for that.
Okay. Good.
All right. Yes, Ronnie Hill. Here we go.
Okay, listen, the Ronnie Hill band, Chris, you love the music, right?
Yes. I love the music. Think like a Stevie Ray Vaughan type of, bluesy rock. He's really good, man. You guys got to check this guy out. Check him out on Spotify. His music's on there. Rob's going to tell you about a giveaway. We have a signed copy of his CD, but the Ronnie Hill band, awesome. Check him out for sure on Spotify. You're not going to be disappointed.
Yeah, and he's going to be at the Space Coast Harley Davidson in Florida. If you're in Florida, at 1440 Sportsman Lane Northeast. In Chris, could you take that down for a quick second? I can't see the bottom. Okay, in Palm Bay, Florida. This is Saturday, 12 p.m. to 4 p.m. And next week, we'll announce I have a CD to give away of the Ronnie Hill Band. So Ronnie Hill Band live, he's excellent. So next week we'll be giving away a CD. All right, Chris, go ahead. You can take that down. I got one more that I want to talk about. Tax on Wheels.
Okay, let me bring that up. Hold on.
Okay, listen, it's tax season's almost over, so if you guys can get your taxes done, you better hurry up. You got a month left. All right, this is my friend Ro, Tax on Wheels in Staten Island, 1164 Rockland Avenue. The phone number is 718-698-0153. If you need your taxes done and, it's coming down to crunch time, give her a call. She's really good. And the reason she's called Tax on Wheels is because she'll come over to the house and pick up your taxes and then do it. So check her out. She's really good. Tax on Wheels, Chris.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm actually getting mine done this week, getting to get done finally. Armand, he did his taxes. Smart man.
All right, good. That's smart.
Yeah, but definitely listen, if this person is willing, if this service, they're willing to come to your house and do everything, hey, give them a call. Why not? Right? I mean, this is such a great service. And Rob's used them, so it's trustworthy, obviously. But
definitely.
Check them out for sure. The website again is tax-onwheels.com. Check them out, man.
Yeah, really. Like I said, it's really, really good. All right, Chris, do you have anything else before I announce Friday night show?
No, I mean, other than thank you everybody for joining us. We appreciate it as always. We love the comments. Keep them coming. We love to interact with you guys. And again, if you're on YouTube, hit that sub button. We really do appreciate that. Again, you follow us on Twitter and on TikTok at NYMLB Talk. And you know what? I can't wait to get to the season and start talking real baseball, Yankees, Mets. about the season, about the games. I love that part of the show. So looking forward to it. We're less than 2 weeks away. So
Yeah, definitely. And Friday night, okay, at 9 p.m., we have another former Major League player coming on. Looking forward to this. Former San Diego Padre pitcher Brian Tolberg is going to come on, and he's going to talk about his amazing route to the pitching in the major leagues, okay? Because he did something that he was the first to do to get to the major leagues. So we're going to talk to him about that, pitching in the major leagues, and what he's doing now, Chris. So I'm looking forward. I've been looking forward to talking to Brian for a while now.
yeah, no, me too. You know what? I Googled him and started reading some of the stuff about him and about his career. It's really interesting. And you know what? To get some good baseball stories, especially right before the season starts, I can't wait.
Yeah, so that's next Friday, 9 p.m. Definitely be here for former San Diego Padres pitcher Brian Tolberg. And Chris, we will see you Friday night.